My husband is having trouble sleeping, which is not an issue he usually has.
It's pretty real now. I think at first it was
the house. What do we do with the house? I wouldn't have to stress about, okay, well, hang on, we could pay the house, but we can't eat.
I've never even heard of the word furlough until a month ago. I looked it up, but realised I probably couldn't furlough myself.
It's affecting family life. I'm quite short-tempered and irritable, and I suffer from constant headaches as a result.
Businesses like ours, we've worked so hard for 5 years to get to where we are, and for them just to allow us to fall through the cracks.
And it's difficult and it's worrying for us. And as time ticks on, it becomes more so.
I've been in recruitment for about 18 years. I love the industry. I think it's incredibly rewarding putting people into their perfect jobs, getting people a pay rise. The difference it can make to them, their lives, their families' lives is just what I find the most rewarding about working in the industry.
I gain a huge sense of satisfaction when I'm handling young or nervous dogs, in particular developing a bond, that level of trust and watching them grow and develop.
This year I was just starting to work with BBC Sport on some of their highlights work, and was scheduled to work on the European Championships and the Olympics this summer, which obviously isn't happening now.
I enjoy doing this, I'm good at it, and I like to carry on.
There is a joy in the building, a love in the craft of creating something out of nothing, in forging your own path.
I know that everything that happens with the business, or normally everything that happens with the business, is a direct result of what I do.
I've worked so hard over the last 9 years, investing every penny into it, building it from its grassroots and turning it into a successful and profitable business.
But it's pretty tough not knowing exactly when and where you're going to get paid.
So revenue doesn't come in a regular shape.
In the 5 years, we haven't really had much of a day off. We, work through holidays.
There's no safety net, there is no sick pay, there's no holiday pay.
Basically, the buck stops with us, so if there are any problems or issues, then it's up to us to resolve them, even when sometimes we don't actually know how to do that necessarily.
I often start at 5 o'clock in the morning when emails start coming in from there, and I often finish at 10 o'clock at night. Of course, I can take little breaks in that, and I can take a day off if I need to. But having said that, I never do take a full day off. I work every single day because it's my business. It's just me and my wife. I have to work every day to make it work.
It's definitely not tax saving.
And I'm very angry about this, is why are we being labelled as tax dodgers when it's simply not true?
Just to be really clear, I'm not a high-earning fat cat. I'm a small business owner making a modest living, walking dogs and caring for small domestic animals.
There's a bit of a misconception about us as being tax evaders.
By being paid in dividends, we're somehow dodging tax. We don't dodge tax. That counts as profit. We pay corporation tax and we pay other income tax.
And it shows fully on my tax return along with those other monthly figures.
We've structured our business in a completely legal way and followed the rules set by the government. And now we feel like we're being penalised for that.
There is a reward to the struggle, a win in doing it right and providing others a service, passion helping keep on the lights. But there is a weight to the freedom, a fear in the unknown, to pay into a system and then be left all alone.
Ever since the COVID-19 outbreak began,
We had to shut our salon on the 21st, Saturday the 21st of March.
My particular industry, like that of many others, is at a complete standstill.
It's been really tough because that is our whole household income.
We have nothing coming in.
Any projects that were still in the planning stage for June and July and further on were immediately shelved.
Now, my business pretty much relies on people being able to meet in person.
So I lost tens of thousands of pounds worth of work for the coming few months in a matter of days.
So effectively, and the immediate effect of COVID-19 is that I have zero income, zero turnover, which without help will probably see my business fold.
I've lost all of my income and the ability to earn any income.
So right now my income from my business is zero.
Therefore, zero coming into us as a household.
Utility bills, credit card payments and other outgoings each month.
The mortgage payments still need to be paid.
It means I'm left struggling to feed my family, including my 2 dogs. It means I'm struggling to pay my household bills. It means I'm struggling to pay my business bills.
There are no grants available for home-based businesses like ours.
If we furlough, we can't operate our business. We won't have a business to come back to.
The furlough scheme that's available for people with staff requires companies to pay the 80% of their wages, but those companies must have the cash flow to be able to do that before the government is able to start reimbursing them on that scheme.
Then I'm not allowed to contact existing or prospective clients, not as a furlough director. I'm not allowed to boost my presence on social media, and I'm certainly not allowed to undertake any marketing.
The banks are not helping. The banks promised us they'd help, and unfortunately the banks still are playing the game that they normally do, which is amazing considering we helped them out in 2008.
We have been told we could apply for a business interruption loan, which we can't afford to pay back because we don't have the revenue.
As a business, we've never had to take out a loan, and 16 years down the line, that's not something we want to have to do at this stage.
Getting into debt now to pay off with money that I don't know I will be getting in the future.
How can I take on an extra debt when it's impossible to know when the thing's going to be over and how the business is going to operate afterwards?
Having done the sums, when we get paid our furloughed amount and minus our essential household bills that we have to pay for, we will have about £250 left a month to live on as a family of 4.
We're looking at the very, very real prospect of losing everything that we've worked so hard for over the last 5 years.
Yeah, which is leading to, well, high anxiety in the house, lack of sleep, pretty much trying to hold everything together on a daily basis is getting more difficult as you just worry about how we're going to survive all of this.
There is a split in the foundation, a hole in the wall, and the patch they've provided won't save us all from the fall. There is a stress to the balance, a strain to the holding of living in a house made of cards when a storm wind is blowing.
Your initial statement was that nobody will be left behind.
Abandoned, I think it was his words. We're all in this together, he said. But that's not true, is it?
It's depressing, to be honest, because it is a conscious decision not to support us at the moment.
How can I be expected to support the government when they aren't supporting me?
There's no clear message about how these small businesses are going to be able to survive.
I just can't see why people like us should be left out.
We don't seem to be being listened to.
I would just like to ask the government, why are you happy to let our business fail?
We will not be missed out on the inevitable tax rises that we'll have to pay for all of this.
I feel like we're just being chucked under the bus.
The government wants everyone to behave responsibly and to work together. I agree with that, but I just cannot see how it's fair to leave such huge gaps in the support.
I did what I thought was the right thing, saving for my retirement so as not to be a burden on the state, and now I'm being penalised.
These companies are really important to the economy. They contribute huge amounts in tax. They employ huge amounts of people across the country. And the people who run these businesses are so passionate because they've built them from scratch themselves, grown them into something profitable that can employ people and give other people a living. And it's their life's work, really, these businesses. They need help right now, and they're just not getting it. They're just sitting there waiting to die.
I would ask you to look at the position or the offer that you have for people in our position, directors of small limited companies, because I really do feel like we've just fallen between a gap in the floorboards.
I just feel that we should be treated the same as the rest of the hard-working British public.
I would like to say that we feel that we've been protected in the same way that the employed and the self-employed have.
Listen to what we're saying and come up with a package that is fair and reasonable for us too.
I completely understand it. It isn't a free ride, but we have to get through the ride so that we can start to generate revenue afterwards and hopefully create a better economy and maybe a better society as well.
We need something to keep us afloat so that we can keep those jobs for the self-employed and the people that we employ, and we can all return to help bring the economy back from this.
If I could ask the government for one thing right now, it would be to help me, pure and simple. I've worked hard my whole life. I've never claimed a single benefit. I've paid all my taxes. I've upheld the law, and now I'm in this horrendous predicament through no fault of my own, where I stand to lose everything.
Businesses like ours, we've worked so hard for 5 years to get to where we are, and for them just to allow us to fall through the cracks. Like, why are we not important enough to get help? You know, we're just a normal family with our own business, trying to, just trying to make our way in the world. But that's apparently, at the minute, not enough.
There is a bite in their promise, a sting in the tail. People left to fall, a life's work made to fail. But there is hope for something better, a chance still to act to save thousands of people from falling through the cracks.